All right, we have joined us in the studio this morning to review the papers Comrade Uzo Ekemeze. Comrade, you're welcome.
Viewers at home, a very fair morning.
All right, a beautiful morning as usual. We'll begin with ABS website and the stories we have there. Federal government urged to establish community surveillance team to combat oil theft, pipeline vandalism. Federal government bans Boeing 737 MAX from Nigeria airspace. Obiano asks Anambra government officials to intensify efforts towards efficient service delivery, reassures on payment of new national minimum wage. Parents challenge to empower girl child with quality education. 35 persons arrested for drug offenses in Anambra. Aguleri monarch Igwe Idigo begins final journey last week of March. Those are the stories we have on ABS website. Let's start talking now. The first story we have there is federal government urged to establish community surveillance team to combat oil theft and pipeline vandalism. Do you think this would provide solution to this lingering crisis in the oil and gas sector?
Yes, it will help because, most of things that happen in Nigeria and the society is done by the communities. So the communities knows the terrain, knows how the environment is. So if they can able to engage community activities, that is involving the vigilante, and they equip them very well, okay, and make sure that they take care of them by paying them adequately, you see, they can be useful to give meaningful information that will help to get all these pipeline vandalizers.
Can this also be applied in combating terrorism in Nigeria?
Yes, that's what we're trying to say. You know, most of the times we talk about not engaging in anti-terrorism. You engage in counter-terrorism. Counter-terrorism in the sense that you know where these people are, where they come from, and where they go after the attack. And the community knows them and knows their terrain. So if you engage the community in this war against terrorism, you find out that by the time the police or military will be there, they have to get adequate information where these people are and where they return after the attack.
Okay. All right. Obiano asks Anambra government officials to intensify efforts towards efficient service delivery, reassures on payment of new national minimum wage.
Yeah, I think it's a very good light and this in good direction. You can see that the Senate has even concurred to the House of Rep, okay, that they have approved 30,000 minimum wage. So if our governor will be the first to implement it, it's a welcome development. So we wish him to make it practical, at least so Anambra continue to be the light of the nation.
All right, Anambra continue to be the light of the nation. We'll move now to the Daily Sun newspaper. And on the Daily Sun, I think it was a sad Black Wednesday for Nigeria. As you can see, Daily Sun is also capturing that with a black background. Lagos, sad day. 12 school kids killed in building collapse, leaving residents in sorrow, tears. Ambode orders probe, building harbors, school, shops, others. Buhari Mons. And beside the nameplate there, we also have this heart-wrenching story on nature yesterday. Agodi in Anambra has 27 die in auto crashes. Gunmen kill DPO, 3 policemen in Edo. Senate presidency, APC senators zero in on Lawan. South is still interest in posts. We also have Ethiopian Airlines. We already captured it on ABS website. Federal government bans Boeing 737 MAX 8 planes. It was a sad day yesterday.
Very
sad day in not Lagos only, in Nigeria as a whole, because you don't know whose child is there.
Yeah.
So it's not only Lagosians that are there. Okay. So you see, there's many factors that contribute to building collapse in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I could recall in the 80s and 90s, okay, you don't build building overnight. But you can see people now, somebody will start to erect a story building, within 1 week it's already finished. So you don't allow the what do you call it, the mixture of cement and other things to concentrate and consolidate. Okay? You need to give it time. Not for today, you build this one, you put another block on top of it, tomorrow again, you build it. Before you know it, you finish the building. Okay? So this enhances collapse. So, and again,
we're going to say that the state agencies or government agencies that are responsible for regulation at time of building do not perform their task. So for us to see those kind of buildings coming up.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Anambra State, for example, introduced material testing department, agencies. Before you start building a house, the materials must be carried, go to analysis and test to see whether it conforms with standard, okay? Because some of the material that used to build these days are inferior, okay? So manage it. Where can you use 6 inches rod? They use 2 inches rod. And the contractors are helping to increase this building collapse, to minimize their expenditure so they can be able to maximize profit in the detriment of others, okay? Before you know it, maybe the
agencies passed, and where do they stop in monitoring this building materials?
Where they are going to start and stop is that, first of all, any building, starting of building, there must have to be a continuous, check-up on it. If you lay block today, allow it to stay 3-4 days to consolidate, okay, before you put any other structure on it, okay? Then your substructure, if it is foundation or dam-proof course, okay, it must be something that you did very well, did foundation very well, so that you can be able to use the appropriate, material, like 9 inches block if you are erecting a building, a story building, so that it's not tomorrow, the thing will just start to slack. And again, if you have a building that has cracked, you must have to take a proactive measure, not a reactive measure, to make sure that place has been put in order. Because what happened in this Lagos, maybe some places have been cracked. And you see there's shops also there, there's schools there. So all these things, congregate the issue of the building collapse.
All right. They push it back to the agencies that are supposed to monitor these things, okay, from the foundation to the finishing. Yeah. You don't just go and approve and you don't care or you don't know.
Just like you pointed out, even after some time,
you keep monitoring.
Look at the buildings
stage by stage.
Maybe buildings that have lasted for 40 years, 50 years, you revalue them to ensure that they still meet up with standard where people should live.
Yeah. And then on the child crisis too, I remember last time we had the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Architect Michael Kompo. He told us the frustration that he's facing trying to clear people off the road, especially those hot flashes, where vehicles can also always fail a brake and then clear people on the road. But our people are just too difficult to deal with.
Yes, our people are adamant in terms of giving them advice. Okay, selling in the, on main road, especially on express road, okay, it's dangerous. Like look at what's happening at Ikoka. We are saying 8 times without number. People cannot come out and blocking the ways. Okay, what of eventually if there is
something happens?
Something happens.
You drive them out today, they will come back tomorrow. So facing a government now, and then you know their life.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's move to the next paper. Although there are still similar stories there. 12 pupils, 2 others feared dead in Lagos building collapse. Buhari and Bodekondo victims' families. Lagos government to foot medical bills of the injured. Others probe into cause of disaster. High public sector debt profile dominates Senate 2019 budget debate. We also have Rep sets up ad hoc committee on electoral act. Inconclusive elections. Protesters storm INEC headquarters. Let's look at this issue of inconclusive elections. Protesters storm INEC headquarters. Is that the right solution to concluding elections?
It is not the right way to conclude the election. First of all, what is inconclusive? Okay? Inconclusive is that you have 12 local government to hold election, and at the end of the day, you hold in 10 and 2 didn't hold election in 2. That is inconclusive.
Is that INEC definition of inconclusive?
That's inconclusive election was introduced by Maurice. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Then you find out that it's not when you have concluded election and cancel some votes, then you now say that the election is inconclusive. And the Electoral Act says that when the when the total vote, okay, a candidate has, okay, is less than the one that had been cancelled, okay, then you declare the election inconclusive. That's what the Electoral Act says. But the Constitution of Nigeria, okay, which is what we practice, is primacy of constitution, okay, and it's stipulated that if any law is inconsistent to this constitution, okay, or norms, that law, to it a sort of inconsistency, become null and void. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, in case of Osumbo versus Oshomole, okay, it's a local classicus, you know, in times of election, inconclusive. You see, the PDP, Labour Party won, okay, but the PDP then banking on the rejected vote, which is council vote. And by the time they add it, the PDP won. Then Osumole went to court. And to the extent in the appeal court and Supreme Court, it was stated that a rejected vote or council vote should belong to the dustbin of history.
Only places where elections were not conducted.
Not conducted. So it had been invalidated. Then you have to now give the judgment or result based on what is valid. Because the election has been conducted. It's not that it has not been conducted. So people going to INEC to protest, they are right. Because the constitutions, the law, the court has made the pronouncement. And for such pronouncement to be made, it make the Electoral Act, okay, you know, to become, what do you call it, inconsistent to what the constitution has said. So when they go to court, that's why Tambuwal rush to court. Because they have a case studies to back upon. So INEC has no right to declare election inconclusive.
All right, we'll move over now to the Punch. On the front page of the Punch is still the same story of the tragedy of yesterday in Lagos. Buhari, Ambode, mourn as collapsed Lagos building killed pupils, others. I thought it was a bomb explosion, says victim's father. Reps lament inconclusive polls. Senate vows to probe INEC. 2019, UTME begins April 11, says JAMB. We also have INEC lacks power to withdraw my certificate of return, Okorocha. Family, Ondo, NSCDC disagree over suspects death in custody. Government mother pregnant call. DPO, two others in Edo. INEC lacks power to withdraw my certificate of return, Okorocha.
Yes. I think that is a pronouncement. It's right. They don't have right to withhold certificate of return if that election has not been notified.
But
if election has been notified, okay, and they now find out that there are some evidences, okay, that characterize the election, okay, being rigged or fraud or whatever it is, they have to now say that this election in this senatorial district has been cancelled or notified. They can withhold his certificate of return. But if the thing has been pronounced and INEC has not said anything either ways, okay, why are they withholding the?
But the returning officer wrote a petition. He said he declared. He made the declaration.
That's what I'm
He made the declaration under duress.
So I can say that INEC will now confirm.
How?
Now the electoral officer has said that he made the thing under duress. Okay. Then the INEC will say, yes, we found out that you do this under duress. Thereby, this result or the election that conducted in this district is hereby nullified. But you have not nullified the election, and if somebody has given an evidence that it was said it under duress, then why are you holding the certificate of return?
Okay, you are saying that the election must be first of all nullified.
Before now, you can say, my man, why we are holding this in that this election is nullified? So you have no basis, you have no locus standi to come and claim your certificate of return. But you have not made such pronouncement, and you are holding this in. So there is a kind of skeleton in the cupboard.
That is going to happen now that they have said they won't give it to him. Let's go. Go
okay.
On.
Someone wants to join us. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It's Barrister Joseph calling you from Oka here.
All right, Barrister, welcome.
Welcome.
Yes, I want to agree with the my brother in the studio
Okay.
on the Okorocha issue. When a pronouncement is made, it can only be reversed by a tribunal. So INEC is wrong to withhold the certificate of Okorocha. I think I was in the studio wait for yesterday, and I said something.
All right.
Then I want to differ a bit on what he said on conclusive. People protested. Once that pronouncement is made that an election is inconclusive, the only attempt you can give your supporters is to let them calm down and come back on the day of the election and make sure that they vote again.
All right.
Protesting from now to 20 years coming cannot change the pronouncement of inconclusive nature of that election. Thank you.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now that the Senate, okay, I wanted to ask you more questions on that Okorocha case.
Yeah.
Now that INEC said they are withdrawing the certificate of returns, who are they going to give it?
They will not give it to anybody. What they're going to do is that for them to see, okay, the reason for withholding that certificate. And what Okorocha has to do, okay, as I'm saying, you don't force, what do you call it, illegality with illegality. What they're going to do is for you to approach court.
But let me ask, in a case where it is established that even though the returning officer made that declaration under duress, that Okorocha still won that election, will he now be arraigned in court for electoral misconduct while he's giving his certificate of return?
Oh, well, thank you very much. You know, last matter of evidence. The returning officer has said that he cleared the result under duress.
Yeah.
Now, which means we have two results. Okay? Then, which one did INEC has? He has to produce the original result. Okay? It's neither Okorocha won or lost.
Okay.
We don't know.
And that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Now that it's this way, I know that Okorocha wouldn't have put the returning officer on duress to declare election if he had won.
Yes.
Okay? So what if the other result says that it is not Okorocha that won this election, but this person? Now that they have withdrew this certificate from him, will they give it to the person that
Thank you very much.
originally won the
That's what
election?
I'm trying to say, that the prima facie is that we have two results. That's what it is. Okay? So when they present the result and find out that Okorocha lost, then they will certificate to the person that won it.
Comrade, you're speaking like a lawyer.
I am.
Okay,
He's a lawyer.
because I would
he's a
have
lawyer.
wondered. All right, thank you very much, Comrade Uzeke Meze, for joining us this morning on Good Morning Anambra, reviewing the papers. It went Lego, per se. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, I will end at this point. Remember, our discussion segment continues right after now.